Let's grind on some personnel here. Maybe because he wanted to take some pressure off of Will Howard and the quarterbacks. I'm not discounting what Ryan Day said about the offensive line, but he almost put it on the offensive line at one point during Big Ten Media Days to say, this is the key to the season. We've got to get this figured out. We've got to improve there. The guard position was brought up in particular.
Yeah, this is the key to Ohio State's season in my mind. And I think I've walked back from the ledge, for lack of a better phrase, kind of how panicky I think people should be about the offensive line. Going into the offseason, I think a lot of people expected, okay, the offensive line wasn't great in 2023. They'll probably go to the transfer portal and add a guy, right? That didn't happen. But what did happen is development. And I think, especially in this new transfer portal era, we often forget about that these guys can get better in the offseason, right? And so you look at a guy like Josh Simmons at left tackle. Well, he got better throughout the season. He came from San Diego State. You could tell at first that this was a lot for him to start at left tackle. He was a right tackle at San Diego State. As the season went on, he showed the potential, the promise of the player that they recruited out of the transfer portal. I thought by the end of the season, he was pretty good. Now you build on that in the offseason. You got to put in the work. It sounds like he has. A guy like Josh Fryer, right tackle, didn't have a great season last year, first year as a full-time starter. But all the talk is he has put in the work to transform his body, to be in better shape, to be able to do some more things. It sounds like he's going to hold on to that right tackle job, which is probably where I think most people thought they would go to get a transfer portal lineman. The center position is technically still up for grabs. Ryan Day said during Big Ten Media Days, Carson Hinsman and Seth McLaughlin are still competing for that. But Seth McLaughlin started the spring game. He was the guy they brought in from Alabama. In my estimation, and from everything I understand, the plan is, unless something crazy happens during fall camp, that Seth McLaughlin will start at center. And then you've got the right guard spot that's still up for grabs in terms of Carson Hinsman, Luke Montgomery, Tegra Shabola. That'll be settled in camp. I didn't mention the left guard. That's Donovan Jackson. He'll be back for his third year as a starter. No concerns there. So look, if Ohio State gets the right side of that offensive line down, you're in a pretty good spot. And let's not forget, with the offensive line the team had a year ago, you're probably one snap where Donovan Jackson trips over Carson Hinsman's foot and Kyle McCord's throw to Marvin Harrison Jr. is off target. If that goes as planned instead of the trip there, we're probably talking about the Buckeyes as the national champions, or at least going to the college football playoff after winning the Big Ten championship, because I feel like they finished that drive against Michigan. So, yes, this offensive line has room to improve, but they were able to figure out ways to still win games as a team to get that close. And those are the margins in college football. And that's why I think when you talk natty or bust, like little tiny things can change the course of a season. And, that's why teams tend to hesitate to go all in the way Ohio State has. But they were close. So if you can improve some things on the offensive line, and it sounds, at least they believe that has happened this offseason, and you find that right guard that fits in, you're in a pretty good spot. Now, you still have to do that. All that has to happen, and that's where I think the questions still remain. And we're not going to know that really until a couple weeks into camp when pads go on, and frankly, not until probably a few weeks into the season when Ohio State starts Big Ten play and goes to Michigan State and hosts Iowa, and really then when they go out to Oregon in October, when we're going to really see if this offensive line is what they hope it will be.